The thing that probably scares me the most is if my child does something that goes against my values. But this is a fear that every parent has. It's just that set of values is different for everyone. So for instance, if the child carries out a violent act, if the child takes part in one of those Roma camp dismantlements that have been happening this year, how many were there, like 4 or 5? That would scare me and baffle me. It would make me think, what did I do wrong to make my child pursue this path of hatred and violence?
You can't just turn gay overnight. Maybe you can realize it one day that you had relationships with the opposite sex and you didn't like it. You can discover this one day. But then, on the other hand, if you're close with your child, how can you fail to notice it? How can you not notice that your son's relationships with girls are not working out, that they're forced or just based on friendship? But with boys, on the other hand, they're always really warm. I think it's just impossible not to notice if you're close with a person.
I think it's important to understand here, a child can come to you in 2 different cases. It can be a problem that you need to help them solve, or it can be a decision that the child has already taken. Even this hypothetical, "Hi Dad, I'm gay," in principle, it can happen when the child is 12, 14 or 15 years old. But before this, it'd be just, "Dad, I like collecting postage stamps," or "Dad, I like board games." But those are just small aspects of a whole human being whom you probably know better than anyone else. So, of course, it's their decision. You just have to accept and support them. But if it's a problem, you, of course, need to talk about it. And if the level of trust between you is high enough, you need to try and solve this problem, which can be something like that other people don't accept him or her, since our society is quite prejudiced in this regard. And unfortunately, it can be quite dangerous too.
My son is not only homosexual, but an LGBTI activist too, and it's been a long time since he came out. He came out to me 3 years ago, but I was calm about it because I always understood the complexity of human nature. He invited me over to his place. I'm from Lviv, so I used to live there on a permanent basis, to introduce me to his partner. I was worried how it all would go, how I would take it, whether I'd act constrained and prejudiced, whether I would feel anxiety, stress, or even sorrow, but it was completely the opposite.
I don't treat sexual orientation as a separate thing. People have different preferences and that's normal. If they are to ask me about it, I will explain.
In my opinion, I'm not sure my elder child sees it as different, because whenever we talk about these things, we explain it in general terms, as in 2 people are together, sometimes they can have children, sometimes they can't.
Would you go to Kiev Pride with your children?
I'm not sure I'd bring my child there because throughout its history this event hasn't been completely safe.
No, I wouldn't go. If my wife wants to go, she's free to do it and take the children with her.
I will go, and I have been wanting to go these last 3 months. I told my son Zoryan this. I want to walk hand in hand with him and his partner, because for me, Pride is not just a celebration by this community, and it's actually far from a celebration. It's self-expression and a declaration of your rights. And I support a universal application of universal laws and rules to all and everyone, and I'm against discrimination. This Pride is against oppression and discrimination.